Okay, this is the second presentation in my DIY retirement program. So, just starting out, no way I'm a professional. These are just ideas that I came up by watching hundreds of hours of YouTube videos. I'm just trying to show you the mechanics of how to pick out a portfolio and how I monitor it. This is how I did it. You may come up with a different way. Okay? Take this information just like any other information and ask other people, financial professionals, and about your portfolio choices. But here's what we're going to discuss today: the portfolio visualizer. So, it's a struggle for people to suggest what ETF stocks, all that stuff to put in your retirement package because you have to adjust risk, right? So, in my case, if I'm 5 years away from retirement and I have nothing saved and I have a particular date in mind to retire and I want to meet it, I'm going to have to take on a lot of risk, right? Because just putting it in a high yield savings account, I'll just end up with the date that I want to retire and have, let's say, 25% of my goal to retire. So I can't retire. So, what's the point? Showing up at your retirement date with only 25% is like starting out with a quarter tank of gas and no money and trying to drive across country. It's pointless. So, this is the way look at the portfolios that are suggested, and it's a backtesting visualizer, so it's just going to tell me what the portfolio did over time. Okay, so it has a lot of cool settings. You can do it year to year or month to month. If you have enough history in a particular ticker, it can go back to 1985. But if the ticker symbols in your portfolios were just created like a couple years ago, that is going to knock it out to analysis to the ticker symbol with the shortest history. So I told it to start out with $10,000. You can put in cash flows, contribute a fixed amount, so you can throw it in like a 401k, rebalance it, all kinds of stuff, which is really cool. And this is all for free. In order to get the paid version, it's kind of expensive, but it allows you to save the information. So then we roll over to what we're going to test. I just pulled a sample portfolio off the internet, and these are the ticker symbols. And I just threw in some percentages. Everything has to equal up to 100%. So you can do 3 portfolios, and you can do percentage. And there's a lot of information that you can tweak as you learn how to use the program. But let's say that our next one is portfolio 2 is going to be QQQ. It has to be 100%. So I could put in as many stocks as I want. And if you want to add more stocks, or ETFs or whatever, you just click on more. So let's say the next ticker symbol, what do we want to do at 100%? So we want to, and then you can put in a benchmark. I was hoping to use the S&P 500, but this is the closest that I came to it. So we do analyze portfolios, and it gives you your allocation, all that stuff, right? And it can only go back to, as you can see, it only goes back to 2016 because one of the tickers doesn't go that far back, and it says this ticker right here doesn't go back. Okay, so you can go down, take a look at it, all this other stuff, right? But this is where I take a look at it. So if we take it, the sample portfolio is right here. So if I would have invested $10,000, 2016, I would be right here. Portfolio 2, which was QQQ, this is a good example of keeping your head on straight when there's a downturn. So let's say that I had this $10,000 in 2016, and it now, as you can see, This takes, QQQ takes a big dump. But look at it. Look at it from this perspective. If I would have put my money in the sample portfolio, I would have been way down here. Sure, it doesn't drop off as much, but this drops way off. But it's actually ahead. It's actually more than the benchmark and the other two portfolios. So just keep that in mind when you go through a big sell off. It's really important to remember that if you're in it for the long haul, the financial advisors on most cases are going to tell you not to sell during a big downturn. You'll have to consult your financial advisor, but a lot of times they just say stick with it. And so this kind of like proves out that theory. So right here, even at the lowest point, my portfolio two is worth 25,000 and it's still ahead of any of the other ones. And then you can see it jump, right? But if I was to invest $10,000 in 2022, obviously this would have taken a big dump. But this is the way I took a look at portfolios that people suggested. I hope this helps.